Hello everyone, welcome back to the polymer chemistry classes. In the previous videos, we will discuss up to the molding techniques. Today, we'll learn about the elastomers. Elastomers refers to a group of rubbery polymers which are either chemically or physically cross-linked. And elastomers can be easily stretched and rapidly recover their original dimension when applied stress is released. Most of them are two component systems supplied in plast form, in which setting occurs through chain lengthening polymerization and chemical cross linking. Elastomers are basically two types, those are natural rubber and synthetic rubber. Coming to the natural rubber, rubbers are high polymers which have elastic properties in excess of 300%. Thus, suppose we are taking a rubber band, that rubber band can be stretched to 4 to 10 times of its original length, and as soon as the stretching force is released, it returns to its original length. So, coming to the natural rubber is a elastic polymer. It comes from the latex of the trees. Examples of those trees are Hevea brasiliensis and Castrella elastica. Natural rubber having the elastic property and water repellent property as well as electric resistance property. So, the commercial source of natural rubber latex is para rubber tree, that means Hevea brasiliensis, and other plants contain latex which are Gutta precia, rubber fees, Panama rubber tree, spruce, common dandelion, Russian dandelion. These are the some of the trees which obtain latex. Coming to the introduction, rubber is a polymer. We all know about the word polymer, which is obtained from the Greek language, which means many parts. So, natural rubber is obtained from the natural polymer and from the latex of the rubber trees. Natural rubber is also called as cis 1,4 polyisoprene. Natural rubber is found in the latex that comes from the rubber trees. So it is collected in a cup mounted on each tree by slashing the bark to reach the latex vessels. So that liquid is containing 30 to 40% of the rubber. So the natural rubber is making by the incisions on the bark of the rubber trees, that means Hevea brasiliensis rubber trees. So that rubber latex, which is an emulsion of 25 to 45 percentage of rubber in water along with the proteinase oozes out. That latex which is obtained from the rubber trees is diluted so as to contain 15 to 20% only rubber. So coagulum is done. That coagulation process is done in tanks by adding 1 kg of acetic acid or formic acid for 200 kgs of the rubber. Then soft white coagulum is obtained. That soft white coagulum is washed with water and it is dried. So this soft white coagulum washed latex is taken. From this we are preparing two types of rubber. First one is creepy rubber and second one is smoked rubber. So natural rubber is obtained by the two methods. First one is creepy rubber, second one is smoked rubber. Coming to the creepy rubber, the coagulum which is obtained in the previous slide, that coagulum is bleached with a sodium bisulfate. So coagulum is bleached with a sodium bisulfate. The coagulum is then allowed to dry about 2 hours. Then it is passed through a creeping machine. So the creeping machine which coagulum rolls out with irregular surface of 1 mm thickness. The sheets is then dried at 50 degrees centigrade in air. Coming to the smoked rubber. The bleached coagulum is rolled into the thicker sheets having ribbed pattern which prevents them from adhering on stocking and also increases the surface area. The coagulation is carried out in long tanks having the sides with vertical grooves fitted with a metal plates. Diluted latex is poured into the tanks with plates are removed. Then the dilute acetic acid or formic acid is added to the mixer and it is stirred thoroughly. The partition plates are then inserted to the grooves and the tanks are kept undisturbed about 16 hours. The tough slab of coagulum is formed between the partition plates. Now the partition plates are removed after forming the tough slab. Then the sheets are dried in a smokehouse at 50 degrees centigrade by burning the wood or coconut shells. This is about the natural rubber. So natural rubber is prepared and it is of two types. First one is creepy rubber, second one is smoked rubber. And coming to the structure of the natural rubber, so we all know the polymerization of isoprene units gives the natural rubber. So this is the isoprene unit polymerization done and then natural rubber can be obtained. This is the structure of the natural rubber. Coming to the properties of the natural rubber. The physical and chemical properties of the natural rubber are influenced by the presence of non-rubber substances. So, natural rubber is a natural polymerous substance having a high molecular weight possessing viscoelastic properties. Natural rubber is cis 1,4 isoprene, that is, it is a diene. Because of it is a diene, it shows all the reactions of an unsaturated compound. So it gives the addition compounds with hydrogen chloride, halogens, ozone, etc. Coming to the physical properties of the natural rubber. Natural rubber having a specific gravity of 0.92 and it is having a heat of combustion that is 10547.084 calorie per gram. Thermal conductivity is 0.00032 and refractive index is 1.52. Cohesive energy density is 63.7 calories per centimeter cube. Coefficient of Cubal expansion is 0.00062 degrees centigrade and power factor at 1000 cycles is 0.15 to 0.2. And coming to the dielectric constant 2.37 and coming to the dielectric constant value in volume per mm is 3937 and volume resistivity is 1015 ohm per centimeter. And coming to the chemical resistance of the natural rubber, it is having a good air, alcohols, dilute and acids and bases resistance and it is having a poor resistance towards the gasoline, hydrocarbon solvents and oils and it is having a good resistance towards the oxidation and it is having a excellent resistance in water and it is having a fair resistance to radiation and steam and it is having a very poor resistance to sunlight. This is about the chemical resistance of the natural rubber towards air, alcohol, etc. Coming to the mechanical properties, it shows the excellent mechanical properties towards the abrasion resistance, compression set, elongation, low temperature flexibility, and tear resistance. And it is also showing good resistance towards the tensile strength and fair resistance towards the gas permeability. And it is having a poor resistance, that is, poor flame resistance. These are the mechanical properties of the natural rubber. Coming to the compounding of the rubber, rubber is always compounded with the additives to satisfy the given applications in terms of properties, cost, and processability. Mainly used reinforcing fillers used in natural rubber in carbon black. So and other additives also includes, those are antioxidants, antiozonants, plasticizers, softeners, etc. So rubber compounding, the concentrated latex is first blended with the various additives as required for different applications. The blending of different additives is known as latex compounding. Latex compounding involves not only the addition of the proper chemicals to obtain optimum physical properties in the final product, but also the proper control of colloidal properties which enable the latex to be transformed from the liquid state to the final state. Some other objectives of rubber compounding are to secure certain properties in the finished product to satisfy the service requirements, to attain processing characteristic necessary for efficient utilization of available equipment. to achieve desirable properties and processability at the lowest cost. So, what are the ingredients present in the compounding of latex? Those are: first one, latex, which is the main ingredient for the preparation of the natural rubber. Second one, thickening agents, wetting agents, vulcanizing agents, softeners, dispersing agents, anti-degradants, etc. Let us discuss one by one, starting from the thickening agents. Sometimes it is frequently necessary to increase the viscosity of the latex compounds. Thus, dipping mixes may require to be thickened so that thicker deposits of the rubber are obtained. Latex compounds may be thickened by adding thickening agents. A thickening agent or thickener is a substance which can increase the viscosity of a liquid without substantially changing its other properties. For thickening purpose, a wide range of natural products are available. For example, gums, glues, casein, and gelatin, etc. These are all somewhat unpredictable in effect, are subjected to bacterial attack, and although berry may cause high initial increase in the viscosity. Nowadays, commonly used thickening agents are sodium carboxymethyl cellulose and polyvinyl alcohol, etc. Coming to the another ingredient, that is wetting agents. Sometimes the addition of a wetting agent to the latex mix is necessary for successful impregnation of a fabric or fibers with latex. Though a medium speed wetting agent, calcium oil IHs, have been found to assist in obtaining a complete penetration between the textile fibers without any danger of destabilizing the latex. Coming to the calcium oil Hs. Calcium oil H is a high sulfonated oil, and it is available as a clear and it is amber colored liquid, and it is also readily soluble in the water. Unlike some high speed wetting agent, calcium oil having a high viscosity, and it does not give the viscosity to the latex, and it does not changes the latex of the compounds. Coming to the vulcanizing agent. Vulcanizing agents react chemically with the raw gum elastomer, forming cross-links between the polymer chains, resulting in a more dimensionally stable and less heat-sensitive product. This process generally involves the chemical reaction of the rubber with sulfur in the presence of an activator or accelerator. For vulcanization process, elastomers need to have unsaturated bonds, that means double bonds. Its cost is relatively low, but its function is very essential. The amount of sulfur must be low because at high level of sulfur, it can show the bloom on the surface. So sulfur donors are TMTD or ZDC. Coming to the fillers, it is another ingredient present in the natural rubber. Fillers are materials used to extend the range of physical properties to reduce compound cost and modify process the properties to increase the viscosity and to influence the chemical resistance of the compound. Most of the non-black fillers such as china clay, mica powder, etc. can be used. Carbon black does not reinforce latex in the manner that it does not dry rubber, and is used only in small amount in latex for color, as or various other dyes and pigments. Selection criteria for choosing accurate filler involves cost, processing requirements, color requirement, reinforcing requirement, etc. Coming to the softeners. Softeners speed up the rate of polymer breakdown, and it also helps to disperse the other compounding ingredients, helps to reduce nerve within the compound, and it can impact the building tag, and it improves the processing properties and modify the final compound properties. So softeners adjust the compound cost and reduce power consumption during processing. In applications, it is used in the toy balloons preparation, and softeners are added because it softens them too that they may be easily inflated. Generally, paraffinic oil, Naphthenic oil and aromatic petroleum mineral oils are used as a softeners. Coming to the dispersing agents. The particle size of the solid material added to latex must usually made as small as possible to ensure the intimate contact between the rubber particles. Solid materials are usually added to the latex as dispersion. The material to be added is mixed with dispersing agents in deionized water and ground to a small particle size in a ball mill. In these devices, stones or other hard pebble sized materials are made to tumble and mix with chemicals, reducing them to very small size. The concentration of dispersing agents rarely exceeds 2% except in special circumstances. None of the common materials such as gelatin, casein, glue or soap such as ammonium oleate possesses all the requested properties and hence it is necessary to use mixtures of two or more of them. Coming to the accelerates, usually these are the chemical substances and used in the vulcanization process to reduce the curing time, oxidation degradation of elastomers during the vulcanization, and it is have to improve the property of vulcanizates. These are the types of accelerators. Those are slow, medium, fast and ultra fast. Coming to the activators. Activators are the compounds. These are able to increase the efficiency of the accelerators, and there are two types, zinc oxide and magnesium oxide. Zinc oxide is the most known vulcanizing activator and it can be used along with the majority of known accelerators. And magnesium oxide is mainly used to the vulcanization of the neoprene type elastomers. And this is about the compounding of natural rubber. Coming to the drawbacks or disadvantages of the natural rubber. Natural rubber is soft and sticky and it becomes very soft and it becomes very sticky in summer and it becomes hard and brittle in winter because that natural rubber is having a low tensile strength and it is very weak and it is having a very tackiness. Under severe stretching, permanent deformation may occur and it shows poor oxidation stability. To overcome these disadvantages of the natural rubber, here vulcanization process is there. Actually, vulcanization is a heating of natural rubber at 100 to 140 degrees centigrade temperature with sulfur, resulting in the cross-linking. Here there is a one formula that natural rubber is vulcanized with sulfur atom, that is the unsaturated bonds are bonded with a sulfur atoms. So it is an interesting reaction in the natural rubber preparation. This reaction converts the raw rubber into elastic material. Vulcanized rubber possesses high tensile strength and it gives hardness and it also gives abrasion resistance to the rubber. Because of the unique combinations of these properties, natural rubber applications is the manufacturing of various types of products. Coming to the comparison of natural rubber and vulcanized rubber. Natural rubber is a crude rubber and it is sticky and an elastic solid. It becomes soft and sticky as the temperature rises. Coming to the vulcanized rubber, vulcanization prevents the polymer chains from moving independently. As a result, when the stress is applied to vulcanized rubber, it deforms, but upon the release of stress, it reverts to the back its shape. Coming to the natural rubber, raw natural rubber has a elasticity over a narrow range of temperature from 60 up to 60 degrees centigrade, and vulcanized rubber can withstand up to 100 degrees centigrade starting from the 40 degrees centigrade. Raw natural rubber has a low tensile strength, abrasion resistance. Vulcanized rubber has a better tensile strength. And natural rubber absorbs a large amount of water. Vulcanized rubber absorbs a small amount of water. Natural rubber is having a low abrasion resistance and vulcanized rubber having a high abrasion resistance. Natural rubber soluble in solvents like either carbon disulfide, carbon tetrachloride, petroleum, etc. Coming to the vulcanized rubber, it is insoluble in all the other usual solvents. This is about the natural rubber and vulcanized rubber. Thanks for watching. In the next video, we will discuss about the synthetic rubber. Thanks for watching.